Hey, and welcome back to Pristine Podcast. My name is Lera, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to use YouTube to grow your podcast audience. There's nothing wrong about just doing your podcast as a standalone thing and not worrying about anything else because that's what you like to do. However, you're leaving opportunities in the table. There is so much that your podcast by itself can reach. So let's talk about how you can use YouTube to increase the reach basically and grow your audience faster. Promote your episodes with shorter clips. You can promote your podcast by uploading shorter clips of your episodes in YouTube. They will have a highlight of the best moments in your podcast, and people will then get teased and they will want to click and listen to the whole thing. There are three benefits of doing this. People, instead of listening to just your highlight, which is saying so much, they will go to their favorite podcast listening app and they will be more likely to download the whole thing, which will increase your sponsor revenue. Number two is that a short video is more likely to be shared than a 45-minute long episode. And number three is that it makes for a very good amount of content to be posted on social media, which will further increase your reach to people and your growth potential. You can also interact with listeners in the comment section in YouTube. In their podcast listening apps, they can't interact with you in any way, so it feels like a one-way conversation when you're speaking to them. The max they can do is they can rate your podcast and follow it. So the next best thing is you can upload these videos to YouTube and then you can communicate with them one-on-one in the comment section, which will then increase your interaction and make them feel more connected to the host. Another feature YouTube has, which you can use to your advantage, is YouTube Analytics, which you can use to get a better idea of who watched your episode, how long did they watch it, and where did they come from, While if they use your website to download their episode or they go to their podcast listening app, you have no idea about any of this. So using the analytics will give you a better chance to understand which content your audience likes, which one they don't like, how long your podcast should be, how long it should not, and so on. You can use YouTube SEO as well, just like you can optimize SEO in your website, which will make your website rank higher in Google search. You can also optimize YouTube content such as the title and description, which will then show up higher. Things you have to do is you can use these tools that will show you search volumes for different wordings, so you can type whatever you want and see how many people are searching the same thing, which means that you can find the perfect title and a very good description which mentions a lot of these keywords in it, because Google and other search engines will pay attention to what words you've used to give people the most accurate search results, which will make your video rank up higher in YouTube, but people type what you've used in your title and in your description as well. For these videos that you've uploaded in your YouTube channel, be sure to have eye-catching thumbnails. Here are 4 tips you can use to improve your thumbnail game. Number 1 is color. Color is what attracts the human eye. If you create an enticing mix of colors, people will stop in their scroll and notice your content straight away. If you use a certain amount of contrast with complementary colors, not like completely different ones, because that doesn't look very nice. If you play with the colors very well and if you do the right contrast, people will stop and notice your thumbnail straight away. Number 2 is adding your face in the thumbnail. A face that shows a very strong emotion or appears to be telling a message can attract attention, but keep in mind to only do this if your episodes are recorded as well. So if you record yourself while doing it, do this. If not, then people might think that it's a clickbait. Number 3 is brand your content. Branding is not just about the logo, for example. It's everything about you. It's everything how you speak, how you word your content, the style that you use, everything. But in the thumbnail, one of the most powerful things we can do is put your logo so that it will show as people will notice it. You have a certain style, you put your logo as well. People will say, okay, this is a video from X person that I've seen multiple times. People will be able to recognize your video straight away just by looking at your thumbnail. Number 4 is create interesting titles. If you've seen lots of people in YouTube, they not only use the title which you should put of the video, but they also use the second title in their thumbnail. And a nice way to do this is by having a continuous way, like a link between the title in your thumbnail to your actual title. So it must be like a continuation of some sort. You can see there's different people out there that do this. There's other videos that maybe explain this very well, but to make intelligent combinations of these two titles, the first one in the thumbnail and the second one in the video, that will make for a very good attention drawing technique. If you're finding this information helpful and you want more podcasting tips in the future, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get notified in the future whenever we upload a new video. After you've uploaded a couple of videos in YouTube already, you should go to your YouTube analytics that we talked about earlier and check out the watch time. One of YouTube's most significant rating considerations is how much time people spend watching your YouTube videos. So you can optimize your videos in a way so that people can watch it for longer, basically. One of the most popular ways of doing this is having pattern interruptions. So if you're speaking in a monotone voice for a long, consistent time, people will not only stop listening, but will fall asleep as well. So what you can do is break this pattern, this consistent monotonous voice, by either changing your tone or lowering it, on a very specific part and then increasing it again, or by asking them a question. By doing this, you'll improve your watch time and get the chance of higher rankings of your podcast and YouTube channel. Finally, to ensure that we maintain and develop our audience, you should make sure to include a call to action at the end of each video. You could give them a suggestion in your website where people can click on and check out the show notes for a certain episode where they can listen to other episodes as well. You can take advantage of the description section in YouTube to include links that you want people to click on by describing what they are for, and you should have obviously mentioned them in the video as well so that people can recognize them. You can mention your social media accounts where people can follow you, subscribe to you, and they can interact with you more. And finally, you can promote your own products and services to people if you have them, which will end up sponsoring your own podcast. If you want to grow your podcast faster and get more of your time back, then consider outsourcing podcast editing and post-production to me and my team. To learn more, check out the link in the description. As always, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to click the thumbs up button and subscribe for more podcast related content in the future. I'll see you again in the next video.